So let's move on to the physics asset. All right. So Unreal has attempted to add some physics assets here, as you can see. But, well, honestly, it's not really that good. So let's just start here with showing all of your bones. And let's see, where was it? All right, so if you go to bones, all hierarchy, you can actually see your armature. And then you can select a bone. And we can start working on these. So if I press F, I will zoom into them. And you have these options here for translate, rotate, and scale. Also, short keys are W for translate, E for rotate, and R for scale. So we're just going to scale this down until it sort of fits her waist. I'm using the right mouse button, F again, to look at the sides, scaling it down again. So this doesn't really have to be all that perfect, but you know, I'm trying to make it look well, a little bit nice, I guess. Let me see. The next one is the spine 2 bone. And we will just scale it down and scale it down here as well. And I will just move it forward slightly and scale it down again. Scale it to the side a little bit. Well, it's okay if it goes out a little, because these spheres that you have here, those are your collision. Those are your actual collision objects. All right. So we also have one for the fourth spine, which is fine because they don't actually have to overlap, but they can. And I just keep using my right mouse button and then F to try and see it from different angles. So it also made one for spine 5, which I'm going to delete. I don't really think it is well needed. Going to skip over these for now. Going straight to the head. This one I will also delete for now. Going to look at the head. As you can see, this can be quite time-consuming thing. So take your time doing it. Doesn't have to be perfect. You can always tweak it later. Okay. I will delete the bones in the hair for now. We will work on those later. Let's just first try and get her her normal armature fixed up. All right. If we scroll back up to her neck, you can see there is a gap here. So I'm going to right click on the neck. All right. Add shape, capsule. It's also Control 2. So this one I'm going to rotate by 90. If I extend this panel, you will actually see that you have your snapping, your rotation, and your scaling. And you can change how many degrees you want. If you want 10 or 5. You could also untick this and then you can just rotate freely. Also, Control C, Control Z undoes what you just did. Just going to scale it down by quite a bit because I just want the neck. Going to move it down so that it sort of connects with the head and the chest bone. As you can see, it's at a slight angle, which I think is fine because you know your neck doesn't actually go straight down. So we're going back up here to the clavicle. Again, you select the bone, Control 2 to add capsule, or you know, right click, add shape, capsule, and then just bit by bit move it into place, rotate it, and scale it until it fits. All right, well, I'm going to speed things up as I move through this because I don't want to bore you all to death with a 3-hour-long video of me moving around capsules. So I've now very simply done the left half of her body because I could basically copy over the properties of the collisions. For the calf, for example, I can go to copy properties or Control C, and then I can just go to the other calf and then Control V, and it will copy over the properties, but it doesn't always mirror them. So that's one thing you have to look out for when you do this. And you notice that I neglected to do the knee. So let me just fix that. So again, Control C, go to this one, Control V. So here again, can select the left tie, Control C, go to the right tie, Control V, and then check if you are happy with the results. We'll go show all bones again, scroll down all the way again, take this one, Control C, go to the right foot, Control 2, select the right foot again, the collision in this case, not the bone, Control V, and here you can see what I mean when the angle is off. So we'll just manually adjust it until it's roughly the same. Because, well, it does try and copy properties, but not all of them are copied over or are mirrored. So as you can see, I did not actually include all of the bones. I did not include the ball of the foot. And with the hands, I also did not include any of the fingers. It is, of course, totally up to you if you want to do that or not. But for this tutorial, I thought just keeping it simple might be the best option at the moment. So you see, the more I'm going to check this, the more I notice things are off. Well, you can actually be spending a lot of time tweaking this if you want to, or not. I will say that, let's see if I can select both of them. And I think I can. Yes. Okay. So we'll go to the left hand, Control C. Then we'll go to the right hand, Control V. And and then move it into place. And rotate it. And all of that. All right. So with the base armature done, let's move on to the colliders for the hair. So as you can see, all of these bones are all hair bones. And well, this is a very simple model, so I have reduced the amount of hair bones by a lot. But still, all of these need their own collider. Okay. Control 2. Select the bone. R to scale. Scale it down by a lot. F to focus on it. So right about now is a good time to look at my, where are they? The bone size and reduce it to, I don't know, 0.2, so you can better see the bones. So the green one is actually the one that is associated with this one. E to rotate, probably 90. Move it down. R to scale. Oh. So one thing to note about the bones is that this little dot up top is actually the bone, and it goes to the little dot here. If you remember our armature, the second bone, which is the one below it, which is this one, actually extends all the way to the hair, but it isn't visible. So we will Control C this one. Actually, let's check from the front if it looks okay. Well, I think it's good. And let's do the second bone. So Control C this one. Select the second bone. Control 2. Select the new collider. Control V. And now you see the bone here. And you can see that actually the hair is longer than the collider. So I'll just move it down and scale it up. Move it up. Maybe make this one a tiny bit smaller. Again, you can spend as much or as little time on this as you want to. And well, now you have to just, repeat this step for each of these hair bones. So I will pause the video and come back to you when I've done that. All right. Hi everyone, I'm back. So this is what I got. All of the hair bones have colliders now. Oh. So we can move on to the next thing. Now that we have all our collision bodies, it's time to move on to the next thing. Because if we were to simulate physics now, well, I'll just show you. Yeah, this is not really what we want to happen. Basically, when you simulate physics, your model goes into what's known as ragdoll mode. And right now, all of the bones are set to ragdoll, but not all of the bones are attached. So, yeah, let me just start with the feet and I'll try and explain what I mean. So the foot bone is connected to the calf bone. But when you simulate physics, well, it's hard to see, but it's not connected because there are no restrictions between the bones. So for this, we will select both of them, and then let me see. We go to constraint selected bodies or Control Y. So now, as you can see here in the graph, you have a constraint between the calf and the foot. Only, well, obviously this constraint is on the wrong place. So here I can show constraints. So this is the constraint we are looking at currently. And well, same as with the collision objects, you can just drag this one to the place where you want it. Again, have to focus on it. Now the collision has two spheres and an arrow, as you can see. It's this red arrow right here. And we want it to point, well, sort of forward. Let me see. I want it to point straight forward. And it's not letting me, so I want it to point in the direction of the foot. But right now, as you can see by the two circles, the red one and the greenish yellow one, it has a full range of motion. So we go down here and we will set them to limited, and the green one we will put on locked. So this red cone shows the movement constraints between the foot collider and the calf collider. So I'm going to position it right where the two bones meet, and I'm going to give this some more restrictions. The way I think this works is that the red cone shows the movement of the bone. So if I kind of imagine how my own foot would be able to move, then I will try and position the cone kind of like that. And now I will also have to do this for all the other bones in the armature. All right. So for the next one, select the calf, Control select the thigh, Control Y, and it will put the constraint at the end point of your last selected bone, it seems. So this is your knee, and well, these kind of only rotate in a specific direction, which is, well, it bends backwards, kind of like this. So maybe you can can overstretch it a little bit, but you mostly can just bend it upwards. But now we have a straight here, which was already in place, but this one is pointing backwards, and we want it to point down. Let me see, does this one actually twist or not? Well, it sort of can, can't it? Yeah, it can. So again, we will just see about the range of motion. Um, oh, right. So the twist motion is like when you let the bone can rotate around its own axis. It's kind of hard to just explain. So I hope that sort of makes sense. And the actuality, you can rotate your upper leg, you can rotate it out so that your knee kind of points into the side. So that's sort of what this twist motion represents right now. Yeah. So this is a lot of guesswork, and it's also well, what you want to do yourself, what you think is best. I'm going to pause the video here again while I do the rest of the constraints for the body, because it's a lot of repetition again. All right. So I'm nearly done with the constraints. As you can see, there are a lot of them. I only need to do one more row of bones or her hair. I thought we could do it together. So I'll just very simply copy the constraint settings from another hair bone. Hair bone constraint. So that's Control C. Then I'm going to select the bone, which is the root bone of this hair strand, and scroll all the way up to the head. Control Y to make the constraint. Control V to paste. And then I have to rotate this by 90 degrees so that it will follow the bone. In this case, it's hard to see, but it's this bone right here. So let me just, if I put this on 0.1 again, maybe it's a little bit easier to see. So it's this bone. So now I select the bone beneath it. Control select the bone above. Control Y. Control V. And rotate 90. Select the bone beneath it. Control select. Control Y. Control V. Rotate 90 degrees. Select Control Y. Control V. Rotate 90. And then the last one, Control Y, Control V, rotate 90, and save. So now if I go and simulate, this happens. You can see that there is one hair strand that doesn't seem to be working correctly. And the question is, which one is it? I'm going to leave that for now. Let's move on to the next part. So this is what the model will look like if it's ragdolled, but we don't actually want to have our character ragdoll as soon as we hit play. So we have to change the settings of some of these colliders. Make it a bit easier to see. I'm going to disable the constraints. Basically, the only bones we want to have animated physics on at the moment are these hair bones. So all of the other bones we'll select, and we will make them kinematic. This way, when we simulate, they won't ragdoll. Of course, now it looks strange. So let's see, that's also the head bone, the neck bone. All of these as well. Right click. Kinematic. And now we can see that our body isn't moving anymore, but the hair is. If I hold Control at right, I can actually select a bone and sort of move it to see what happens. Whee! All right. So we are a bit further. Now let's see if we can see which of these hair bones has the faulty collisions. I think I know which one it is. It's this one right here. Not that I can select it, but okay. It's this one. So let's see. We put the constraints back on. Then we can see that this bone, it doesn't actually have a constraint with the head. So Control Y for the constraint, Control V, and rotate it down by 90 degrees. Save again and see if that worked. Yes, it did. So now, as you may have noticed, we have a small other problem because, well, her hair is just falling straight through the body. So for this, we need to enable collision. I will hide the constraints again. So basically, we have a shoulder bone here. Oh, not that one, the left one. And we don't want this hair strand, which is in front here. This one. This one. We don't want it to fall through. So I'm going to select it and I'm going to say enable collision. And also, let's see, yes, this one. And enable collision. Apparently you can also use left bracket. And lastly this one. So all is well. If I simulate collision now, you can see that these actually collide with the shoulder bone. Now we just have to set it up for every collision body that we want to collide with each other and not go straight through one another. I will be right back. So I've done all the collisions for the hair. And now let's see what happens when I simulate. Alright, well, this looks good, but you can clearly see something strange is going on here. And that is because, well, the colliders are actually colliding into each other, which is causing problems. So the head collider is actually colliding with the hair colliders. And because I say they have collision, yeah, they are actively being pushed away by this collider. So I will kill the head collider down. Alright, let's see. Well, that seems to have mostly solved the problem. Of course, now the hair is clipping through the face, but yeah, you can't have everything. So we could, take the win and leave it at this. But yeah, I'm not going to. I'm going to attempt to do some more work for the hair to make it a little bit more realistic, even though I do kind of like this as well. But yeah, so first of all, we are going to be introducing mass to our hair physics. So I'll just select all of these and put on mass. And with all of them selected, let's also change the linear dampening to 5 and angular dampening to 6, I believe it was. So obviously hair doesn't weigh 100 kilograms, but I don't know how this physics system works. I myself have copied this from other tutorials. So start with the lowest bone in the chain and give that a weight of 1. And then all of the other bones in the chains will need to have a weight of 2 times that amount. So these front chains, where the hairs that frame her face, they only have 2 bones in the chain. So I will give these a weight of 2. And now for the longer chains, we will always be multiplying. So the first is 1, and then second is 2. The third one will be 4, and then 8 and 16 for my change. So that is what I will be doing for all of them. So now that I have done all this, let's see what happens. Well, I don't think we will notice a lot of difference. So again, to do this, Control and right mouse. Yeah, I do believe this is all of the setup we need for the physics asset. So don't forget to save. All right. So now that we have done the physics body, there is one more thing that we actually need to do for the hair bones. Let me see if I can find it. Show constraints. And then go to the constraints details. If we scroll down, then we have this thing called angular motor, and we want to change this to twist and swing. We tick swing is true, and then we put a strength at something like 1200. And basically we have to do that for all of them. So let me just see if I can just shift select all of these, put them on twist and swing, and 1200. But did that work? I think it did. So let's do that one more time. Just over here. All right, so that now I have selected all of my constraints. We'll just scroll down here in the details panel with the angular drive mode, put it on twist and swing. Select the swing and put the strength at 1200. So now all of the constraints should have this. The reason we are trying to do this is to try and preserve some of the shapes that the hair has. So now if all is well and I go to simulate, it will sort of stay put instead of just falling down with gravity. So now that we have set up our hair physics, do not forget to save. So now that we have finished all of the settings in our physics assets, let's go to the anim graph. You can right click and type rigid, and then you can get a node, attach it between your input pose and your output pose. And in this here you will put your physics assets, and then we will change the settings here Here for the component linear scale and the component linear well scale. I think this is acceleration and this is velocity. Change the settings to 0.2, 0.5, and 0.7, and these are all 0.2s. That should be all you need to do to hook up your rigid body in your anime blueprint to finish the physics. Compile and save. In the next tutorial, we will actually be looking at this anime blueprint and hooking up the rest of the stuff. And I will end this video here because it is already way too long. So thank you for watching. And in the next video, I think we'll get started on the animation blueprint for this character. Bye.